Dr. D. Uttara, Associate Professor of Physics, heads the Department of Physics at D.G. Vaishnava College, Chennai, and has more than 20 years' experience in teaching physics. She did her doctoral research in the field of vibrational spectroscopy at the University of Madras, Chennai. She completed her UG in physics at Ethiraj College for Women and PG in physics at Pachepa College, Chennai. She effectively used technology and social media for dissemination of knowledge through her own websites. She has delivered several science talks in All India Radio, Doordarshan Kendra. She has been actively involved in dubbing science videos and translating science books in Tamil. She was a project fellow for the UGC major project, Februarization of Computerized Microwave Bench for the Dielectric Studies, and later she was awarded Teacher Fellowship by UGC for completing a PhD program. She is playing a key role in evolving a curriculum of physics at undergraduate level as a member of IQAC Board of Studies member and Board of Examination in various city colleges.
Welcome to the UGC lecture series for BSc Electronic Honors Practicals. In this video lecture, we will see about how we can build flip-flop circuits, especially clocked SR flip-flop, D flip-flop and JK flip-flop. Let's look at what a clocked RS flip-flop is. The sequential circuits operate with the help of clocks. They are synchronized with the help of the clocks. To start with, here we use a clock pulse to enable or disable a flip-flop. How? Let's see. In order to enable a flip-flop or disable a flip-flop, what can be the changes that I can do? Let's look at the truth table of flip-flop. When R equal to 0 and S is equal to 0, it remains in no change state. So if you want to enable it, give a high to R and S. You want to disable it, give a low. Yes, because when it is at low, you see here that there is no change in the state. Shall we try to add AND gates and enable or disable the flip-flop through them? Yes, the clock pulse is used and so we call it as a clocked RS flip-flop. Now we are going to append or add a AND gate in order to do that. When R equal to 0 and S is equal to 0, you know there is no change, and hence when the clock is 0, what happens? You go to no change. Only when the clock is high, you will find the flip-flop starts working. Again, when R is equal to 0 and S is equal to 0, there is no change. Otherwise, it works in the same way that we have seen earlier. Yes, this is a block diagram of a RS flip-flop using a clock. Yes, how are we going to add a clock? Using an AND gate. Let's look at how we can construct a clocked SR flip-flop using two NAND gates. I need two NAND gates, N1 and N2. The outputs Q and Q bar. So, yes, fine. I want to add a clock. You can either use 3 input AND gates and get it solved. But usually in our labs, we do not find 3 input NAND gates. Hence, we are going to take the help of AND gates here, because here you are expected to construct these flip-flops using elementary logic gates. So, I am going to solve it with what I have. Yes, instead of, now these two become my inputs. Where am I going to give the clock? Yes, it's here. Give the clock here. Now do you understand why we have added these two AND gates? Yes, it is used in order to send the input through the AND gate as well as combine the clock here. Yes, so when the clock equal to 0, you know, yes, definitely the output of the AND gates are going to be 0, and you very well know these, when they are given 0, your latch is not going to work or it remains in its previous state. Yes, so I am going to append these two AND gates here and then get a clocked SR flip-flop. Yes, let's see how it works. You can give a stream of clocks, or rather in here, in order to make you design the clocked SR flip-flop. Here we are going to use a clock pulse, so hence you can give a high and a low, high and a low repeatedly and check for the pattern. So the SR flip-flop again is going to work in the same way and it will obey the same truth table. You have a clocked SR flip-flop, it behaves in the same way as your SR flip-flop which you studied or designed earlier, but when clock is 0, the output does not change and it remains in the no change condition. Only when the clock is enabled, it obeys its usual truth table. In this, students, you can try to convert a SR flip-flop into a SR clocked flip-flop. What does it mean? In this case, we are going to use a clock pulse in order to enable our flip-flop. Fine. If it is not enabled, then we have the previous state as such. If clock is 0, then we get the state to be the previous state. But when the clock is enabled or if it is 1, then we get the output as it has to be in the flip-flop. Fine. So, what is the small change that I need to do when I am constructing my SR flip-flop? Now, SR clock flip-flop using IC 7400. We are now going to repeat. We are now going to combine the inputs 2 and 3. See here, 2 and 3 are combined and I am going to take this as a clock input. In this session, we are going to convert a SR flip-flop using NAND gate into a SR clocked flip-flop. What does it mean? In case of a SR clocked flip-flop, the flip-flop is going to work only when the clock is enabled. Rather, when clock pulse is 0, the flip-flop retains its previous state. When the clock pulse is 1, the flip-flop changes according to the inputs. Here the pins 2 and 4, as you see here, the pins 2 and 4 are connected together and I call this as a clock input. You can either use a clock or a pulse. Instead here, for simplicity's sake, I am going to use my power supply. When I do this, the clock is disabled. Now my clock is enabled. So when my clock is disabled, I am going to retain the previous states. When my clock is enabled, I will be getting the output as according to the input. Students, we have learnt how to make a SR flip-flop using IC 7400. Then we proceeded on to construct a clocked SR flip-flop. Let us see now how you can construct a D flip-flop. What does D stand for? D stands for data. What does it do? It transfers the data. It helps you to transfer data. That's all it does. It doesn't change any data. Instead, it helps you to transfer the data. How to do this? What do you need? Here you see that whenever the clock is high, the flip-flop is enabled. So when R equal to 0, you find from the RS flip-flop, the output is 0. When R equal to 1, S is equal to 0, the output is 1. So it perfectly matches. How can I use this in order to transfer the data? Or rather, I understand whatever is the input given here that gets transferred to the output. Is it not? So can I use this SR flip-flop in some format and design a data transfer flip-flop? Yes, you can. So what do you need? You want clock to be high, fine, done. Then you want R equal to 0, S1. When R1, S0. You got the pattern? When this is 0, S is opposite of it. So what do you need? To negate it? Yes, you are right. You just need a NOT gate between R and S. That's all you need to make a D flip-flop. Once you made a clocked RS flip-flop, you can convert the clocked RS flip-flop into a D flip-flop by using what? Yes, by using a NOT gate between the two inputs R and S. That's all. Let's see that now. Here R and S complement each other, so you can achieve the same using NAND or NOR also. Yes, as we have done earlier, N1, N2, this becomes Q, Q bar, two inputs, so and it is fed here, the output is fed to N2, and because I want a clock, I am going to use or add two AND gates. Yes, I have my inputs here, I have my clock here. At the same time, what is that I need? I want to negate. Are you getting it? So now I call it as D. Yes, so whatever is my S, R is going to be opposite of it, and hence I'll get the data transferred here. Is it not? So it is so easy. Try D flip-flop, construct it, and enjoy the logic as well as its operation. You can do one more thing also, that is, instead of a NOT gate, you can try with a NOR or a NAND. Here again you can make the changes as you wish. Nobody stops you. So keep on trying different combinations.
Students, here we are going to construct a D flip-flop, data flip-flop. Whatever is given as data, that comes out at the output. We have already seen a SR flip-flop using NAND gate. Then we moved on to construct a clocked SR flip-flop using same NAND gate. Now we are going to construct a D flip-flop using NAND gates. What is the difference? You know the SR flip-flop. From there, the two NAND gates, the input NAND gates are going to be interconnected using a NOT gate. So here I have used a NAND as NOT. Instead, you can use just a simple NOT IC, or you can even use NOR as NOT. Try different ICs, but you will be getting the same logic, similar answer, because you are constructing a D flip-flop. Here is the D flip-flop. Let us next check how it works. Here, as I told you that just now, you have a data line. Shall we see what happens? When the data is high, see what is the output? Output is again high. When the data is low, the output turns to be low. So what does this flip-flop do? It just sends the data from input side to the output side. That is what D flip-flop does. Once again, data is high, rather the input is high, D input is high, output is high. D input is low, output is low, Q is low.
Let us now move on to how we can construct a JK flip-flop. Generally, we use IC 7473 or 7476 in our labs. But here let us learn how we can construct a JK flip-flop with the help of our knowledge on basic logic gates. So, you should also know that once you construct a JK flip-flop, we can easily convert that into SR or D flip-flop. JK flip-flop is an improvement over SR flip-flop. So, shall we try to learn the logic, the truth table and the working of JK flip-flop? Remember one thing, that in this video we are going to discuss the JK flip-flop design using a 3-input NAND gate. Let us see how a JK flip-flop can be brought from a clocked SR flip-flop. Let us start with the NAND latch. You have N1 and N2, the 2-input NAND gates, and then the outputs we call it as Q and Q bar. The outputs are of course fed back to the input of the other. Yes, and then in case of a clocked SR flip-flop, we had two more 2-input NAND gates. We call them as N3 and N4. In case of a clocked SR, we had 2 input NAND gates only, we called them as S and R. As well, we had a clock pulse as input. Yes. Now, I am going to make this clocked SR into JK. How? We are going to add one more input to each of the NAND gates N3 and N4, and hence we are going to use 3 input NAND gates. So, what is N3 going to do? Q bar from here will be fed to N3. Q from here it will be fed to N4. Q bar is fed to N3 and Q is fed to N4. So, what happens? Q is fed not only to N2 but also to N4. Q bar is fed to N1 and N3. So, we call this as double feedback. This is the difference between your clocked SR flip-flop and the JK flip-flop. Now, let us see how it works. Working of a JK flip-flop. When the clock is 0, you very well know from the NAND truth table, the outputs are going to be 1. Because you have clock is equal to 0, the NAND gate outputs are going to be 1. Then look at the NAND latch output. What happens? You have 1 and 1, there will not be any change. So, what is going to happen? When the clock is 0, the output of N3 and N4 becomes 1, and hence the input for the NAND latch becomes 1, and hence 1 1 gives you what? No change, and hence when clock is 0, it remains in the no change condition, which remains the JK flip-flop remains in the no change condition. Shall we move on to the next one? When clock is 1, what is going to happen? Rather, I call this as clock is enabled. Let us look at the circuit once again and try to reason out ourselves. What is going to happen? My clock is going to be 1. So, what is going to happen to my outputs? We have different conditions. What are they? Let us see the inputs now. Yes, I am going to call it as what? J and K. So, depending on the J and K as well as on the conditions of Q bar and Q, our outputs are going to change. Remember here, the output Q and Q bar of a JK flip-flop depends on the clock, the J and K as well as the conditions of Q and Q bar before the clock is applied. So, we are going to call this as what? Qn is the condition of output before the pulse and Qn plus 1 is the condition of the output after the pulse. So, these are the two new terms that we are introducing now. So, we will be including these in the truth table also. So, shall we look at it? When j equal to 1 and clock equal to 1, what is going to happen? As well, you have to remember one more thing. When we are giving a clock, flip-flops are usually designed in such a way that they respond during the rise or fall of a clock pulse. Rise or fall of a clock pulse. This is called as a positive edge triggered flip-flop, and these are called as negative edge triggered flip-flops. When clock is 1 or high and it is enabled, when j is equal to 0, k equal to 0, what is going to happen? Let us reason out from our circuit. Here you have the circuit, you have the latch, j is equal to 0, k is equal to 0 while clock is equal to 1. Because j is equal to 0, the NAND gate output is going to be, yes, you are right, 1, and because k equal to 0, NAND output is going to be once again 1, and hence you have the latch here. For the latch, what are the inputs? 1 and 1. We have already seen that when 1 and 1 are the inputs of the NAND latch, there will not be any change. When what is going to happen? When clock equal to 1, we have when j is equal to 0, k equal to 0, whether the earlier output is 0 or 1, it does not change. There is no change in the flip-flop output. Here you have the circuit. What is going to happen? Clock is 1, j equal to 0 and k equal to 1. In case if you have q is equal to rather qn before the clock pulse is given, the output were 0, what would happen? In case if the output were 1, what would happen? When clock is equal to 1, j is equal to 0, k equal to 1, what do you think will happen? the output of n3 is definitely 1 because j equal to 0, and output of n4 is definitely 1 because you have q is equal to 0. Q is fed back to the n4, hence that also becomes 1. So, from the NAND latch what will happen? 1 1 is the input of the NAND latch, and you will find it will be in the no change condition, and hence it will remain in the same state. If clock is equal to 1, at the same time j equal to 0, k equal to 1, but the previous output was 1, what would happen? In that case, as in earlier case, you will find that the output of n3 becomes 1 because your j is equal to 0. But for n4, what are the inputs? K is 1, clock is 1, as well as qn which is fed to it is also 1. From the NAND gate logic, you will know the output of n4 will become, yes, you are right, it becomes 0, and hence the NAND latch inputs become 1 and 0. Why so? The outputs of n3 and n4 are fed as the inputs of the NAND latch. From the NAND latch truth table, you will find that the output becomes 0. From what? From 1. Rather, when j is equal to 0 and k is equal to 1, whatever may be the initial state, whether it is 0 or 1, the output finally becomes 0, or what we call it as reset. Shall we move on to the next one? That is, when clock is 1, j is equal to 1 and k equal to 0. Here again we are going to look at two cases. Case 1, initially q is 0 and initially q is equal to 1. Case 1, q is 0 initially. In that case, the inputs of n3 are nothing but j equal to 1, the feedback qn bar is equal to 1 and clock is also equal to 1. So, what happens to the output of n3? Yes, from the NAND logic you very well know it becomes 0. And what about the n4? The one of the input k is equal to 0, is it not? And hence the output of n4 is nothing but 1. So, what are the inputs to the NAND latch? You look at the circuit, the NAND latch is going to get the inputs 0 and 1. Hence, you will find from the NAND latch truth table that the flip flop will be set, rather the output becomes 1. Let us look at the next case. When clock is 1, j equal to 1 and k equal to 0, at the same time q equal to 1 initially. Inputs of n3 are j is equal to 1, qn bar equal to 0, which is fed back from the output, and the clock is 1. So, you already know the output of n3 has to be 1 from the NAND truth table, as well as let us look at the inputs of n4. What are they? K is equal to 0, qn is equal to 1 and clock is equal to 1. Because one of the inputs of NAND gate is 0, you know the output will definitely become 1. So, what are the inputs of the NAND latch? They are nothing but 1 and 1, and hence you will very well know that the NAND latch will remain in no change condition, or the output still remains at 1. Hence, you find that when j is equal to 1, k equal to 0, if the earlier or the previous output was 0, it then becomes 1 once the clock pulse is given. If it were 1, it remains at 1. Hence, we call this as set. So, when j is 1, k equal to 0, then the flip flop is set. Let us look at the final case when clock equal to 1, j equal to 1 and k equal to 1. Again, we will be looking at two cases, q equal to 0 and q equal to 1 initially. The inputs of n3 are j equal to 1, q equal to 1 and clock equal to 1. You will see that all the inputs are 1 for the NAND gate, and hence n3 output will become 0. For n4, you have k equal to 1 and qn, the feedback is 0, and hence the output of n4 has to become 1. So, the inputs of NAND latch are 0 and 1. From the NAND latch truth table, we will find that the output of JK flip flop will go to 1. From where? From 0, it rise to become 1. You can look at the circuit now. So, you will find that qn plus 1 is equal to 1 when j equal to 1, k equal to 1, clock is 1 if qn is equal to 0. When qn is equal to 1 initially. In that case, what are the inputs of n 3? J equal to 1 and q n bar is equal to 0. So, the output of n 3 will become 1. At the same time, what is going to happen to n 4? Let us see that. For n 4, k is 1, q is 1 and the clock is also 1. Hence, output of n 4 becomes 0. In which case, what are the inputs of NAND latch? They are nothing but 1 and 0. From the NAND latch truth table, you will find the flip flop will go to 0 state. From where? From 1, it goes to 0 state. So, if j is 1, k is 1, when the clock is 1, then if the earlier output was 0, it becomes 1 after the clock. If earlier one was 1, it becomes 0 later on. So, rather we can say it switches to the complement state. This is all about JK flip flop. But just one second, wait, what is racing? What is going to happen if my clock is going to be there alive? You look at this, clock is 1, j is 1, k is 1. In that case, I am going to get into real problem called as racing. If we have this truth table of JK flip flop, what is going to happen here? Because the clock remains at 1, after some time it from 0 it becomes 1. Once it becomes 1, it can again become 0, again 1, it keeps on complementing itself again and again. But will you be sure that what would be the answer? No. So, this is a problem with the JK flip flop. So, how is it overcome? By using a master slave flip flop. In this video, we have seen about building latch, then we moved on to building a NAND latch, then an SR flip flop, clocked SR flip flop and then about JK flip flop. Students, let us look at a few questions based on this video. Shall we? From where? From the basic knowledge that you have on basic logic gates and about NAND and NOR gates. See you. Thank you.